I swear it was just a normal pen, but in that moment I prayed it was magic with a sorcery capable of calming down my boss. I had marched into his office to say something kind of insane if your goal is to keep your job, and so of course I needed a place to direct my nerves, and so I started doing this. My boss, our VP of marketing, wasn't angry per se, he was just fired up because he wanted to fire me up because I was super close to getting myself fired. I was 27 and I'd spent about a year as the company's head of content. It was a coveted and highly visible role. I was in charge of our content strategy, leading a team of 9 marketers who would write articles and ebooks based on my strategy. And together we ran a blog with over 2 million monthly visitors and a subscription list well into 6 figures, which was unheard of, especially at that time in B2B. On paper, the job was glamorous. In reality, I was miserable. There were lots of reasons for that, like company culture and politics, team burnout, the cutthroat nature of promotions, but I was thrashing for a different reason. I'd had manager roles like this before, but it was always at smaller startups where I could both lead the team and write, at least sometimes. Now at this growing behemoth of a brand, I spent all my time in meetings. All my time. Imagine catching in the ocean like a great white shark and then keeping it in your pool in your backyard. Not even a good pool, like an above ground pop-up pool with the little ladder you throw over the side. Yeah, that pool. That was me, except unlike sharks, my teeth can't grow back, which is a problem when you spend all your time clenching your jaw suffering through your schedule. I'm back in my boss's office and I finally told him how I felt about all this, politely, I swear. My boss was a company man, the kind of which you don't really find anymore, especially in tech. He'd fully bought into the company culture, and we all knew he was headed for the role of CMO soon. I just don't think I'm using my superpowers here, I told him. I'm not sure I'm being fully utilized. I'm not doing my best work. And that got his attention. In a good way, maybe? Come on, he kind of grunted at me. Oh, okay, not the good way. I mean, I agree with you, he said. It's a problem. Oh, okay. Great. I feel like I'm caught between 2 roles, I said to him. I'm in this manager position where I'm supposed to be a content strategist, but my love is to create content. And I'm really good at creating things. That's why I got the job in the first place. Okay, he said to me. He was calmer now. The pen was magic, after all. I think you have to choose, he said. Given where the marketing industry is at right now, given where you work right now, you could probably be the best content strategist in the world, but you probably won't be the best creator. So I think solving for enterprise value is solving for your career at the same time. You should focus on being the best strategist. So it was settled. With a few tumbles of a tongue, fluent in corporate bullshit, I had my marching orders. Do the job as assigned, or I'll find someone who will. Now, if you've followed me for any amount of time, you realize that A, I am long gone from that or any other company. B, I'm known for my creativity, my stories, and my content. I'm known as a creator. And C, I clearly rejected that guy's advice. I get it. As Mike Birbiglia likes to joke in his stand-up specials, I'm in the future also. You and I both know where this story goes eventually. But can I be honest? Back then, it took a while. It took a while to reject his advice, all because that tiny little word that he dangled in front of me was so enticing. Best. I had the chance to be the best. I loved being the best at things. I always worked so hard in my life to be the best at everything. In school, that meant getting straight A's, becoming president of this club and that club, captaining every team I played for. After graduation, I went to work for several of the best brands in marketing and the best places to work in the nation if you're going to believe those rankings that we see all the time. So the moment my boss said to me, "You can be the best at this," I was cooked. My decision-making dissolved. My perspective, poof. Yes, of course, the best. Let's frickin' go. Be the best. Just 3 words. A short command, a simple idea. and terrible advice. In my public speaking, I tend to open up my keynotes by asking people the same question. What's the best Disney film of all time? People who've seen me speak know this as my signature Goofy movie bit, because no matter what you say in response to that question, you're probably wrong unless you list that answer, because there is one objectively correct answer to the question, and it's a Goofy movie. Listen, if you know, you know. Powerline, the pop singer in the film, legit good songs. I'm still waiting for the album to drop. Now, of course, it's a ridiculous question to ask people. It's ridiculous not only because I ask it in speeches at very serious business events, but for another reason we need to understand more fully. We can't actually answer that question correctly, but that won't stop us from trying. This is exactly how we tend to think about our work too. We want so badly to be the best at what we do. And in our marketing, we work so hard to tell others that we indeed are the best. And that's why they should care, share, subscribe, and buy. Because look at us go. We're the number one in the category, the top ranked, the most beloved, the most decorated. We're the academically sound solution. We're the objectively correct pick. We are the best. But that's not a real thing. Not really. I mean, what the heck do you actually mean? What did my boss mean all those years ago? What would be the best content strategist? What would that actually entail? How do you rank those people? Would anybody know? Would I know? How is the best a worthy goal or even a real goal? I mean, what the hell does it even mean? The best is not a real thing. Not unless we all agree on how we're measuring it, which never happens anyway. If I asked you, which player in the NBA has scored the most points during regular season games? We'd all know the answer. It's LeBron James, over 42,000 points. But if I switched my request and I said, like, who is the best scorer in NBA history? Well, now we'd have a passionate debate because we couldn't agree. You'd hear about how Michael Jordan was the best scorer or Wilt Chamberlain. They played for fewer games. They averaged way more points per game, but also maybe Kobe Bryant was the best pure scorer, but maybe Kevin Durant has a claim to that title, and on we would debate. Who scored the most points? Easy, LeBron. There's a correct answer. Who's the best scorer? Forget about it. You can't answer it correctly. But again, that won't stop us from trying. It's just so silly. Being the best is something we're so sure actually matters. We're so proud to consistently pursue it. But it doesn't exist. And it may not matter if it did. Because something revealing happens whenever I ask audiences in my speeches, what's the best Disney film? I say to them, what's the best Disney film? But how do they hear it? How do they respond to it? This is my favorite. My friend, that is what really matters. That's how people make choices, and that is actually attainable. What are your favorite things inside of a field or a job function? That's the kind of stuff that you're going to relentlessly pursue and get better at and improve upon, which will eventually pay dividends, if not immediately. You don't need to find something that you and you alone can be the best at doing. That doesn't exist. We can't decide whether you are or are not the best, and it wouldn't matter if we could. There is no objective best, so get busy with something better. Pursue what energizes you. Figure out what parts are your favorite and lean into that hard. Now, if we speak externally, not internally, the notion of building a business, the idea of favoritism applies even more. When people make choices and pick things, they aren't being rational, they're emotional. We as human beings make subjective decisions, then we rationalize what we did later. You might compete against the biggest competitors or creators of your space, and all of us compete against the biggest and best funded or most famous people who create content who try to command the same finite attention that we're competing for with our audience. But to compete in that world, you don't need to be the biggest or the best, whatever that means. You need to be their favorite. Be their personal preferred pick for a specific purpose. There is nothing objectively correct about that. Think of your favorite things in categories away from your work, your favorite food or restaurant, your favorite animal or color, your favorite movie or holiday. These become like parts of your identity. So if I told you that's my favorite show or that's my favorite city, I'm really self-expressing. You're learning more about me than those things, and there's nothing objectively best about my choices. My favorite shirt is not objectively the best made shirt that exists or even that I own, but it feels irreplaceable to me. What if you felt that way to your audience? Irreplaceable. By the way, my favorite team is the New York Knicks. If you know anything about sports, you know that for decades of my life, they were among the objective worst picks. Terrible organization, never winning anything. They haven't won a title since 1973, and famously, they made all the wrong, silly, stupid moves as an organization for the last several decades. But they've been my pick, even while they were objectively among the worst. Does that sound like rational decision-making to you? No, but it is human decision-making. And guess what your audience is made of? Looking back, I can't help but laugh at my boss's advice. In fact, I laughed twice. Not only was that advice meaningless, that's my first laugh, oh man. That advice actually worked on me, and that's my second laugh. But it's the kind of laugh that you laugh too loudly to distract from your own embarrassment. Like you're kind of saying, ha ha ha, ha, we are laughing. I am in on this joke. Ha ha ha, I am fine. In that moment in time, all those years ago, I felt so certain that the best was not just a real thing, but a worthy thing. I mean, there were times in my career where I felt like being the best was the only thing worth pursuing. But here's the real thing. I am not the best creator in the world or even in my space. I am not the best speaker or writer or storyteller or coach, not because I'm not great or successful doing all those things, but because that doesn't exist. The best isn't a real thing. I can't be the best, and neither can you. But you can be something better, something deeper, something that matters even more. When people make choices, they play favorites. So are you one of them? Don't be the best, be their favorite.